Have you ever had the thought that when everything is working well, so when I'm the perfect weight and I have the perfect job and I have the perfect spouse with my little perfect kids, that my life will just finally be happy and I'll be able to move forward and like life is just going to be good. And then none of those things happen and you're frustrated and you're angry and you don't know what to do to make life better. And what I'm going to say, the answer to that is stop trying to control everything. Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet. The reason I make these videos is to help everyone to understand that your physical health and your mental health come together to create your overall sense of well-being. And when I try to control everything, nothing feels good. Why is that? Guess what? We don't have control over almost anything, actually. Like, life is happening and we are interacting with it, but we're not controlling it. The only thing that I can control are my actions and reactions to things in my world. We have the mistaken belief that we can control other people. That's not true. We don't control other people, not even our children. Our children cooperate with us, right? We give them options and they cooperate with us. And don't be misled by the idea that if I am ruling with an iron fist, that means that I'm controlling them, because it doesn't really mean that. All it means is that they are taking the option to cooperate rather than be spanked. But they're still cooperating. And I feel like we see that the most by the fact that at a certain age, when you can't strong arm them anymore, they stop cooperating. And they might even stop talking to you altogether. It's important for us to understand that we can't control everything. Now, we want to control time. We want to be able to freeze time and like have our kids stay a certain age, or freeze time and be in that perfect part of our life. That doesn't work either. So what happens when we try to apply this to food? This idea that we can just control the food that we eat so that we will be at that perfect weight. And when we're at that perfect weight, we're going to be happy forever. Guess what? That doesn't work either. You cannot control food. So let's be clear on what I mean by that. Sugar does something specific in my body, whether I want it to do that or not. So I can't control how sugar entering my body is going to behave. But we are under this misunderstanding that we can somehow eat sugar and then exercise really, really hard, and then boom, we're going to be thin because we exercised really hard. It doesn't work like that. And it's frustrating to watch people fail because they don't want to understand that food functions a certain way in our body. We don't control food, the chemical reaction that happens in us. We do control what we decide to eat. So I need to know how the food will affect me before I can make any decisions about what I'm going to eat. And if I eat the food first and then feel like I'm going to manipulate the situation by exercising to extreme, when I fail, who do I blame for that? See, it becomes really complicated and it becomes really hurtful. But I need people to really stop and understand that there's no tricking me. It's impossible. My brain knows what I'm doing. My body knows what I've eaten. Having a food tracker where I track half the things and not the other and pretend that I did better than I did doesn't change the fact that I ate what I ate, and I will have the physiological repercussions of the increase in insulin and the increase in fat being stored because I overate on my carbohydrates. Not tracking it in the food tracker doesn't change that. It's really important for me to have people be transparent with yourself, because guess what? I'm not hiding anything. It's not because my spouse didn't see me eat it that I didn't eat it. Now this becomes really frustrating because, like I said, when I'm discussing with people what you need to do to live a better life, to be healthier, to be happy with your situation, it's about accepting accepting that certain things are the way they are, right? If I have no friends, my life is going to feel lonely. And the only way to solve that is to take decisions that put me around people so that I can make an attempt at making some friends. Denying that I need people in my life doesn't change the fact that I'm lonely when I'm by myself. We need to be honest with ourselves about what will make us happy and what will help us to be healthy. If I'm trying my best to do a low carb lifestyle, but then I'm eating 200 grams of carbs per day, I'm not going to have the results that I'm trying to get. And blaming the food or trying to manipulate the food to look different than what it was isn't the answer, because the food is what the food is. And I can't control how it affected my body. I'm not going to be able to run away from the effect that carbohydrates have on my brain either. I'm going to be in a dopamine high state when I eat carbohydrates. So I'm going to feel good, even though I feel bad. So let's be clear on this. See, if I'm eating off plan, so I'm eating things that are going to help me to store fat when I'm trying to lose fat, while I'm eating the food, it feels really good because I'm getting this dopamine hit. So the taste is pleasurable. I'm getting that dopamine hit. And then I'm going to have the carbohydrates in my blood for a little while. I'm getting that dopamine hit. And then my body's going to put it away. And then my dopamine level is going to go down. And then I'm going to be angry with myself. I'm going to be ashamed of myself. I'm going to be frustrated. And what am I going to turn around and do is I'm going to feel bad. And when I feel bad, I'm going to eat more carbs. Because don't forget, now that my dopamine levels are lower, my body is going to be pushing me to do what? To eat. Because all of these things are connected and related to each other. When we are in that addictive situation, because carbohydrates are addictive, when we are overeating our carbs, we get pushed to eat. And when we are pushed to eat, we tend to end up wanting to eat those carbs. And then when we eat those carbs, we feel bad, which makes us sad, which makes us want to eat carbs because eating carbs makes us feel good. And so don't try to control the food. Try to understand the food. When you allow yourself one of the days to wake up and say, today I'm eating low carb, I'm going to raise my fats a little bit and I'm going to focus on protein. And I need to do that consciously. I need to understand that the reason I'm doing this is because carbohydrates cause my brain to chase carbohydrates. So that during this day, when I'm trying to do this and it's the first time and my brain is saying, eat some bread, eat some pasta, there's potatoes there. When my brain is telling me that, I need to consciously recognize that I could eat those things, but then I'm just going to want to eat more of those things because this is my body pushing me towards carbs. I need to understand that. And it's a conscious thing that I need to do. I need to actually allow myself to remember what carbohydrates do in my body. So that when I do decide to eat something because I'm hungry, that I'm focusing more of my time, energy, effort on eating foods that I know my body will absorb well and not store as much of, right? Because the only thing I get to control is what I eat, not how it affects my body. Be active in your way of choosing foods. Use the information that you have to choose the foods. Be honest with yourself that if I allow the carbs in, then the carbs are going to affect my insulin levels. The carbs are going to affect my dopamine levels. That's going to push me to want to eat more carbs. It's going to push me to be storing carbs. The insulin is going to store the carbs. And now I'm on that hamster wheel again. This is an active activity. This is an active process. Being at a good weight takes work. You have to invest in it. The same way that being happy takes work. You need to invest in it. But the outcome that you get when you've invested is so worth it. You will be happy, not because you're thinner, because you're healthier. Because you're not chasing carbs. Because your mind is not always on food. See, the nice thing about doing this well is that I get to think about other things than what my next meal is. I know it doesn't sound like something that's so amazing right now because you're used to thinking about food all the time, but trust me, when you get to the part where you're not constantly thinking about what my next meal is, And the fact that you know that your next meal is easy to make because it's a piece of protein and some kind of low glycemic vegetable and maybe a salad, when you know that you're happy to eat those things, life is easier because you can focus your attention on the things that are better for you, like being with friends, like doing your hobbies and activities, like progressing at work. As a wellness warrior, it's our job to make sure that we're taking the best care of our body possible, that we're eating the best quality food for our body possible, and that we understand what each of the macronutrients do in our body so that we can make good choices about what we're eating. Make a better choice. Your health is worth it. I'm going to thank my wellness warriors for coming by. If you are new here, please subscribe and ring the bell so you know when my next video is going to be. I cannot wait to talk to you next time.